All right, we're going to see if this works. I'm going to work through number 13 on page 82 in our book, and I'm going to post this on our discussion board, so we'll see how it goes. Hi, class. All right. The question says an immigration, and I guess I can switch this around. I can figure this out. An immigration agent sampled cars going from the United States into Canada. In this report, he indicated that there were 85 cars sampled. 35 cars were driven by women, 53 were driven by U.S. citizens, 43 cars had 2 or more passengers, and 27 cars were driven by women who are U.S. citizens. 25 cars were driven by women and had 2 or more passengers. 20 cars were driven by U.S. citizens and had 2 or more passengers. 35 cars were driven by women who are U.S. citizens and had 2 or more passengers. After his supervisor reads the report, she explains to the agent that he made a mistake. Explain how the supervisor knew that the agent's report contained an error. My first guess is that there were more people than there could have been in the group. Okay, so let's look at what this would be on a Venn diagram. In this situation, we have, I don't know how to do this. Okay, well, in this situation, we have 30 cars that we have women, U.S. citizens, and those that had 2 or more passengers in their group. So we had women, U.S. citizens, and 2+ passengers. That gives us 8 different groups altogether if we consider all these mutually exclusive groups involved. 35 cars were driven by women, so these 4 regions have to total up to 35. 53 were done by U.S. citizens, so these 4 have to add up to 53. And 27 were driven by women who are U.S. citizens. So that would be these intersection pieces, which are in common, had to add up to 27. So right there, we could use what we know about the number that were in women or U.S. citizens. Using that additive rule, I forget the page number off the top of my head, but I know that it has been in this most recent section. We could do all the women and all the U.S. citizens minus those that we ended up double counting, which was women and U.S. citizens. So right there, women or U.S. citizens would be, there were 35 women, there were 53 U.S. citizens, and then there were 27 that were both. What's that give us? 88 minus 27, which is 61. So 61 would be in these 4 groups altogether. 25 cars were driven by women who had 2 or more passengers. So right there, women with 2 or more passengers, these 2 together had to add up to 25. Okay, and 20 cars were driven by U.S. citizens who had 2 or more passengers. So these 2 had to add up to 20. 15 cars were driven by women who are U.S. citizens and had 2 or more passengers. So right there, knowing that there are 15 in all 3 categories, we can kind of back it out. 20 were driven by U.S. citizens who had 2 or more passengers. So this together would be 20. So 15 plus what gives us 20? Well, that would have to be 5. 25 were driven by women who had 2 or more passengers. So these together, the intersection of these 2 groups was 25. That's 15. That means this had to be 10. 25 were driven by women who were U.S. citizens. So 27 were driven by women who were U.S. citizens. So these together added up to 27, meaning this had to be 12, because this region in together would be 27. At that point, we have already, for women, accounted for, what is this, 10 plus 15 is 25, 37 right there. And right there, we'd have to have -2 who are women who were not U.S. citizens or 2+ passengers. That alone tells me we have overcounted something. So that right there is an error. that she may have seen. Let's see about the U.S. citizens. So 53 for the U.S. citizens. So that's 20, 32. That's possible. I mean, if we could still find that value, it'd be a whole number, positive number, excuse me. But here, 2 plus passengers were 43, and that's fine too. This right here is going to be our issue. Can't have had -2 women in that particular category. So we've accounted for more women than were in our survey, and that's probably the error that they're referring to. I hope that was helpful.